Hi friends, I hope everybody is doing great. I wanted to speak today about ego, the self-absorption of today's society. Something's wrong with us, that we feel compelled on a regular basis to advertise what did we eat, what did we wear, where did we go, what type of car we bought. Every single breath we take and move we make has to be advertised on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, and all the other platforms that exist, a long list of them. It's hard to keep up today. Why do we have this compulsion to share and augment and show off everything that we are or we're not, but we try and compensate for what we're not with Photoshop or fudging our resumes, whatever it is, adding in a few adjectives to make us look good. It was a great vacation when it was a mediocre vacation. So many things we do just to make the I, a capital I, not a little small I, but an I, me, myself, and I. That's all that matters today. And we've become so self-absorbed that we really have no heart for anybody else. Someone else's success or their misery can't compete. Your success, well, if I was you, I would have done better. Or we hate them because their success is posing a threat to our identity. I should be the successful one. After all, I'm smarter, I'm better looking, I'm skinnier, I'm nicer. Why shouldn't it be me? And then there are those who actually compete with other people's failures. Your problems aren't so bad. Mine are worse. You went through this? It's nothing. What I went through. It's always a reassertion of the I. When you compact it, you want to make sure that it exists. You want to fortify it. The I exist. Everything else doesn't matter. The whole world revolves around me. And it's true. Because the Torah teaches us that if you save one life, it's as if you saved an entire universe. So if I save myself, it's as if I saved an entire universe. But why does the universe matter to begin with? The I is not here to self-serve and that everybody should bow to the I. The I is here to make this world a better place, to have a heart for everybody else, to have compassion, to have emotion, to be open-minded, to hear the problems of somebody else and not just dismiss them because I just came from the ER or OR, ER, the emergency room, yeah, OR is operating room. Okay, they could both be true. I got my abbreviations right. And you just came from like the IRS. You comparing the abbreviations, where the dots go. Oh, this is much money. You don't have. This is much. I don't have even more. The decimal points, all the points, the little points why my griefs are much greater than yours and my accomplishments are much greater than yours and my potential is much greater than yours. Always a competition. For what? For what and for whom? It's such a joke. I went recently to the cemetery on Mother's Day to visit my mom's mom, make a prayer. All of her children are not able to do that right now, and I felt a compulsion to go. And as I'm walking through the aisles and driving through the cemetery to reach the destination, I'm thinking, how many people here were in competition? How many people here cried over their problems or were proud over their accomplishments? The playing field is flat now. They're all gone. All made a big puff about nothing at all at the end of the day. The one thing that we are tasked with in this world is to keep the Torah, to teach the Torah, to spread the Torah, to behave the way the Torah commands us to behave. Take each action, take each instant, take each moment, and shine it under God's light, and it will really affect the way you react to that moment and to that situation. It's, like having a boot camp coach on top of you all the time, when you're about to reach for those chips and you know someone's gonna like scream at you with his whistle and like a drill sergeant, don't eat the chips. Well, there's always that drill sergeant for everything we do. How we react when somebody upsets us, when we're in a temptation, whatever scenario, we're fighting over a parking lot, a parking spot, whatever it is, there's a few ways to react. But if you're doing the Torah way, you will react properly. And then it won't be all about you. I had to get there now and they took my spot and it's all about me. You know, maybe that spot you needed was to go to the beauty salon and you're all puffed up because you're late. But maybe for them, that spot was they had to go visit a mother who's dying of cancer. You don't know all those things. All you know is me, myself, and I. We gotta survive. The only way to survive the me, myself, and I, and to really contribute to the world with your true value, not by showing off and pulling up in a fancy car, not by showing up and being a show-off, not by showing up and making everybody else feel bad. The only way to really survive is to take the soul, the godly soul that you were given, and elevate it by being kind to somebody, compassionate, understanding, forgiving. Let go of yourself. You're not that important. At the end of the day, we're all dead. We're all food for the worms. Do you think that you will not be eaten by the worms because you wore a Versace and you had a Chanel handbag and you're going to be treated better because you lived in this zip code instead of that zip code? Death is the ultimate equalizer, but it's also the grounds under which we are judged. So how did you behave while you walk this earth? Did you behave with dignity and humility? That when you walk into a room, it's not, hey, look who's here, it's me. But you walk into a room and when you walk in, everybody feels better because you see the good in them, you compliment them, you help them, you elevate the room with your presence. Elevate the room, elevate the street, elevate the neighborhood, elevate the country, elevate the world by your presence. By living the true presence of who you are, not the phony version, the one that wants to show off that you went to that great restaurant and you're wearing new shoes today that have a designer label, but the true you. The you that has a gift for something, that you're a great singer, so you didn't sing to win American Idol, but you won to be an inspiration for people, that you bring solace to their life and comfort to their life, and you go to nursing homes and you sing, and you visit your grandmother and your mother and you sing, or you're funny, or whatever your talent is, you show up to elevate, not to show off, not to leave a room by taking from people, that you make everybody feel bad because you walked in rich and haughty and everybody feels poor and diminished. You walked in and everybody feels better because you were part of their story. How are you using the me, myself, and I? In this week's Parashah Bahar, we learn about the laws of Shemitah, which means like the sabbatical of the land in Israel. And actually that's an interesting thing. I'll insert it. It's not where I wanted to go. But the sabbatical of the land. So we know Shabbat, the seventh day of the week, you can't drive, you can't write, you can't work. All these things we know about the Sabbath. But the sabbatical of the land. Work the land for 6 years. On the 7th year, you can't work the land. The land has a Sabbath. How is this relevant to the subject? We feel very important in life by the things that we own. This is my building. I remember when in my dating years, you wanted to meet a guy and they wanted to show off and impress you. I own this building, I own this building. Everything they owned was who they were. And we fall into that mindset, whether it's a car or designer outfits or land and property, real estate. This is who I am. The sabbatical of the land teaches you that this is who you're not. You're a big shot for 6 years, work the land, grow, harvest, plant, reap. 7th year, Let it go. You are not in charge of the land. You are temporary workers and dwellers of the land. Who's the owner of the land? God. What do? We didn't plant that year. Who are we? I didn't plant. I can't reap my benefits and sell and be a macher and a somebody and important. All of a sudden, I'm not allowed to do anything. And you're left looking in the mirror and asking yourself, well, this year I'm not allowed to make money. I'm not allowed to do what I have to do on the land. Who am I? Ego. The land is not yours. Temporary. It's a temporary ownership and using it temporarily. This life that we live in, we're using it. All the things we're given are gifts from God. We're using them. How will we return them to God? Will we have abused them, or we will have elevated them? We will have abused ourselves or the people within our lives. Who are we serving, ourselves or God? Humility is a wonderful thing, and that's why God chose Moses to deliver his word. Where there is humility, you can learn new things. When you empty yourself out, when you void yourself, you make place for new opportunities, new wisdom. Who are you? Are you the tweets and the posts? The self-important person who has to Photoshop things, make the eyes wider and the face thinner and the body whatever? Are you manipulating that image of you in the right way? Is it just all surface? Or are you really carving the inside, taking the soul, the I, and shaping the I? Stop dwelling on the capital I. I remember there was this article about presidents, how many times they use the word I in the State of the Union. And I think it was George Bush Sr. who used the most. I thought it was Obama, but he was like a close runner-up. The big I, it's not about us. It's not about us, the big I. You go through life, a small I, a diminished I. You make room for the light. Imagine yourself a bottle. You fill it, you compact it. What's going to come into that bottle? Anything new? A godly light can fit in. You made no room for God, for anything else. It's all you. But if you get rid of the ego, and you just are the vessel, you're the vessel, without punching it, or whatever the word is, just overpacking it. Just be the vessel. Let the light enter. I say, when you edit your life, as the editor in me, I always like to look for words there's too many words. The first lesson I got as a writer was have rachmanis on the readers. Have mercy on the readers, cut out all the superfluous words. And I is one of the most expansive. It's like a sponge, it just keeps everything that pours in, it just expands, and it's all about it. Get rid of that I. That's a sponge. Squeeze it. Just get rid of it. And don't be self-absorbed. Let other things fill you up and create you. Let other things animate you. And when you fill yourself up with things other than you, you will find yourself really being the true you. Not an image, not a phony, not a Photoshop, not in anything, but just somebody who showed up and had an impact on this world because of your kindness, because of your generosity, because of your humor, because of your talent. Whatever it is that you can show up doing, and you want to really be somebody who's posting how great you are. Post a mitzvah. Post when you give charity. Post when you do something nice. Post when you're generous. When you're out there in the world advancing it, expanding it, adding light to it. Those are the things that we should all be posting. Why do we have to take each other's eyes out? This is my new dress, and this is my fancy wedding, and this is my gorgeous... I don't know. I don't believe in posting too many personal things, taking other people's eyes out, making them suffer, making them feel bad. Keep your luck and your good news for yourself. And if you can't do that, and you feel compelled to post about every great thing that happens in your life, you have to really question, who are you living for? Because The truly content don't need an audience. The truly content need their immediate environment. They need their good deeds. They need God. They need to live up to the moment, to the purpose for which they were created. Take a look at yourself. Take a look at the eye. I think that all of us should look at the eye like it's this big blob of, clay. And we have to start sculpting it and really shape an eye that's worthy of standing in the shadow of God's judgment. An eye that's worthy of standing before Him on Judgment Day. An eye that is worthy of standing among our fellow man. That we know our place in society. That we find our place in society. That we create our place in society with great humility. Me, myself, and I. Those are 3 words that really have to be edited out of our lives on a very, very large scale to make this world a much more caring, humanistic, compassionate world again. Shabbat Shalom.